doing a new game plus playthrough for a while because when I first started playing Final Fantasy XIV, it was almost a decade ago, and I don't really remember much about it, so I keep talking about it, and I'm just gonna do it. Editing Nara from the future to say we did try New Game Plus for a little bit and then got really annoyed by the fact that it didn't seem to do anything. It didn't start from the very beginning and it was not as fulfilling. You know, you don't get to see those numbers going up and you're not really getting anything every time you turn in a quest. So I did this for a little bit for a few missions and then decided to create a new character. I'm speeding through this because you're just about to see it again anyway.
Here. Here. Feel. Hear, feel, think.
Boy, lass or something, it said. You were moaning in your sleep and sweating buckets besides. Rolling of the ship got your stomach churning, has it? Don't seem like seasickness now that I look at you. It'll be the ether then, I reckon. Some are more sensitive to the stuff than others. See, and we ain't too far from Vilbrand now, which is chock full of etherites. No need to fret, though. You'll soon get used to it. Ugh, might as well have been bloomin' seasickness. Ship sleeping around like a demented chocobo today. I reckon I might head out on deck, get myself a breath of fresh air. Limsa's still a fair way off, in case you were wondering. Seeing as you're awake and all, how's about you keep me company till we get there? Them young'uns don't much care for conversation, see? Any road, Brennan's the name, and peddlin's me trade. Ah, smell the salty sea breeze. Now then, lass, judging by your unusual garments, I'd say you were one of them new adventurers. Am I warm? I knew it. Going wherever the wind blows, seeking fortune and glory, now that's what I call living. So long as you can avoid dying, I mean. Ain't no secret that adventuring's a risky business, these days especially. What was that first what was it that first attracted you to it? I believe I say fortune here and I get a better ring to start, but I don't remember. We're gonna just do it. Fortune, eh? Well, it's a dream we've all had at one time or another. Once you've learned to handle yourself in a fight, you'll want to pay a visit to whichever crafting or gathering guild tickles your fancy. Lominsa is renowned for its smithies and armorers, not to mention its fisherfolk. And then there's its cooks, of course. Adventuring ain't just about killing things, after all. Peaceful pastime may well help you make your fortune. Just remember, though, there are more important things than fortune and glory, such as breathing. Ain't no profit in being dead, and that's a fact. Thanks for the info. Wah! Wah! So ships off the starboard bow, pirate colors. The whole town pirates? Pirates? Bloody hells. Have you no sense? Get below! You know, in the original game, you actually got to fight during this. What is the world coming to? Pirates firing on a ship flying lominsa colors? Bastards either have a boatload of balls or bugger all for brains. You can rest easy, friends. We've made it out of cannon range, and no buccaneer's bark will catch this flighty temptress once the wind's in her sails. That was too bleedin' close. Glad one of us kept her head on her shoulders. I reckon I'd have lost mine otherwise. Them pirates gave up the chase. We must be close to port. Let's head up on deck and have us a look, shall we? By the by, is this your first trip to Lominsa? No. Thought not, but I'll wager there have been some changes since your last visit. Allow a journeyed itinerant to apprise you of the current state of affairs. Ahem. Lominsa prides itself on being Eorzea's foremost naval power. Weren't too long ago that the place was ruled by pirates, but thanks to the current admiral's civilian influence, the city-state could almost pass for a respectable nation. You'd never guess she was once a rum-swilling buccaneer herself. Of course, most folk ain't so quick to change. And with a town full of liberty-loving ruffians, you can imagine how many naysayers and troublemakers she got to deal with, like them pirates who took a fancy to us just now. And if that weren't bad enough, I heard the Sahagin are raiding the coast just as bold as you please. Them are the sea-dwelling beastmen the locals call fishbacks, in case you didn't know. Ah, at long last. Land ho! Behold, Lominsa, nation blessed by the ocean's bounty and beloved of Limlayan, goddess of navigation.
On a windswept isle in the southwestern corner of the realm, amidst the roiling waves of the Lotano Sea, lies the maritime city-state of Lominsa. To this haven for bandits and brigands, cutthroats and curs, seekers of both freedom and fortune, comes a lone adventurer.
It's me.
Lone yet not alone, for the hero's arrival has drawn the gaze of the nation's patron deity, Limlayan.
You know?
What realm-shaking fate has she descried in the churning waters of this mortal's future?
And here's where we part ways, lass. I'm off to the markets to deliver me wares, then it's on to the high road for me. Here, I want you to have this, by way of thanks for saving me arse earlier. Hey, you never did tell me your name, did you? Well, here's an idea. Become the sort of storied personage I can brag about having met, and I'll consider us square.
Through peril and hardship, discovery and triumph, may the navigator guide this brave soul on her life's voyage. Till sea swallows all.
Hey, you there. I mean you. This is my district, and I make it my business to know all the scum that washes up in it. Ah, an adventurer fresh off the boat, is it? Well then. Allow one of lominsa's finest to set you on the right path. Hop to it, lass. I haven't got all day. Okay, I have to register myself with the Adventurers Guild. Now then, I'm sure you're itching to explore, but adventurers are required to register their presence in the city. Without a bit of local knowledge, you're like to get your throat slit in some piss-stinking alley. So before you do anything else, get yourself over to the Drowning Wench and enroll with the Adventurers Guild. It's not far, just head straight down this street and speak with Greffar. They'll show you how to work that big moving platform we call the Crow's Lift, and that'll take you up to the pub. Once you're there, look for a fellow by the name of Baderon. He's the proprietor of the Wench. He might curse like a nail-sodden sailor, but the man's got a soft spot for wide-eyed newcomers like yourself. He'll set you straight. Got all that? Good. Now run along, and may the navigator guide you on your journey. Welcome to limsa. If you've a mind to visit the Drowning Wench, the Crow's Lift will take you there. Greetings to you, lass. What'll it be? Ah, but you ain't here for the drink, are you? You've come with a mind to try your hand at venturing, I reckon. Well, you'll find no shortage of work here in Limsa. The name's Baderon, and this most hospitable of hostelries is the Drowning Wench. 'Tis also the home of the Venturers Guild here in Limsa. That's why I've got a desk specially for handling guild business, and why I seem to spend more time saving the necks of whelps like yourself than wetting the throats of me regulars. Venturers have a knack for finding trouble, see? Not that they need it in this parts on account of there being trouble wherever you look. If you manage to steer clear of the fishbacks and the kobolds outside the city, the pirates on the inside will get you instead. And if they don't manage, there's always the Garlean Empire to finish the job. Oh, no one knows what they're planning, of course. But if they're planning anything, you can be sure it's to kill the lot of us. Aye, this town seems peaceful at a glance, but look again and you'll see a people living in fear of what tomorrow might bring. And who can blame them after everything that's happened? Eorzea took a mighty blow during the calamity, but our homes weren't the only things that got wiped off the face of existence by that thrice-damned bastard of a dragon. It took our bleeding memories, too. No one's been able to explain it in a way as makes an ounce of sense. None of the folks what saw it and lived to tell the tale seem to agree on how the tale actually goes. It's all foggy, like recollections from an Ard night on the ale. You can imagine why people might fear for the future if they can't rightly recall the past. There is one thing we all remember, and that's the group of adventurers that laid down their lives to drag Eorzea back from the brink when she was bound for the abyss. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this when it's so late. Well, I say we remember. Truth is, though we ain't forgotten what they did for us, the goddamn calamity spawned memory loss robbed us of their names. Won't even let us picture their damn faces. It's just like staring at a gull flying in front of the sun. All you see in your mind's eye is a shadow set against a blinding glare. And that's how every bugger describes it, by the way, give or take the odd gull. There's a lot of exposition. It's this what's got people calling these heroes the warriors of light. If limsa's ever going to put this time of darkness behind it, it's gonna need venturers to help banish the fear. It's going to need new heroes like the ones we lost. Maybe one day you'll be one of them. And that's why any aid we can give to a venturer is effort well spent. What say you, lass? You willing to lend us your strength? Yeah. Me thanks to you and the navigator and all. I knew she'd steered you my way for a reason. But listen to me yattering on like a sun-touched fishwife. 'Tis high time we got your mark in me book. Put your scrawl right there. Rail Risto, is it? And a fine name it is. Congratulations, you're now an upstanding member of the Venturers Guild. You there, adventurer. You sailed in on the last ferry, did you not? Captain reported being attacked by a pirate vessel, and several witnesses have testified independently that a passenger matching your description went out on deck mere moments before the incident took place. Sending your friends signals, were you? Listen here, you bitch. Now hold on just a moment there, officer. You've got the wrong lass. This fine, upstanding young lady is me dear departed grandma's sister's niece's cousin's closest companion. The lass wouldn't be caught dead fraternizing with such unsavory elements. Is that right? Ahem, you are surely aware of the recent kidnappings? Respectfully, then, we cannot be too trusting of outsiders at a time when the loyalty of even our closest friends is in doubt. Aye, you make a good point there, officer. A very good point. Very wise. You needn't worry, though. I keep one eye open at all times, me, and two more often than not. Now, sir, what say you to a tankard of me finest ale afore you return to your duties, eh? Not a watered-down cup of piss like last time, I should hope. Ain't got the faintest idea what you're on about, officer. The wench might offer some of the cheapest grog this side of the Strait of Merlthor, but that don't mean it won't get you good and pickled. And look, there's a chair over there just crying out to be sat on, so kick off them heavy boots, eh? You'll have to excuse these eager, bloody yellow jackets. There's been a spate of kidnappings, see, and they ain't got a clue who's behind 'em. Naturally, they've taken to clapping irons on anyone who looks vaguely suspicious, which means venturers, visitors, and pretty much every bugger else in this town. Oh, sounds familiar. Don't take it personal, though. Us Limsons can be an headstrong bunch of bastards, 'tis true, but given time, we'll grow on you. Now, where was I? Oh, aye. Welcome to Limsa Lominsa, where the sea's as green as the faces of me patrons after a few too many black belly whiskeys. Now take a moment to gather your wits and we'll get started with learning you the ways of the city. Right then, let's start you off nice and easy with 3 tasks what'll help you get used to life here in Limsa. Firstly, if you head down a floor then point your nose to the west, you'll get an eyeful of the great glowing crystal in the middle of the courtyard. That's an aetheryte, a device what can move you from one place to another in the blink of an eye. Ain't no swifter way to travel, providing there's an aetheryte where you want to go, of course. Have a chat with the yellow jacket on guard down there, and you'll be treated to a lecture on the workings of the device. Before you do that, though, remember to touch the thing. Strange as it sounds, it won't work till you have. Second on the list is the marketplace. You'll find weapons and armor and all your venturing bits and pieces for sale in the district what lies beyond the aetheryte. Don't go throwing your gill around just yet, though, or you'll get fleeced quicker and you can say, Why's me coin purse so light? I've a word with Swazblate instead. He's the head of the Merchants League, by the way. Give him this old octant and he'll treat you well. For the last of me helpful hints, I suggest you meet some fellow axe wielders at the Marauders Guild. I guarantee you'll learn a few new tricks for swinging that head splitter of yours if you join their crew. Bilal Thada at the front desk is the one to get you started. Got all that, lass? Seeing to them 3 tasks will take you on a little jaunt around the city and help you work out where everything is. Now I'd best be getting on. Running along, eh? Bugger it, there I go sending you off without telling you something crucial. That bloody calamity's made a right mess of me memory, I swear. Well, that or the ale. Any road. While you're out, if you happen to pass any poor sods that look like they might need your help, consider giving their tale a listen, eh? Sounds like a chore, I admit, but you never know what interesting opportunities could be lurking out there just waiting for you to stumble on them. For example, Nania over yonder's been casting glances at you since you waltzed in. Why not lend an ear and see what she has to say? Aye, you're like to find yourself running odd errands in the beginning, but once you've built a reputation as a woman folk can trust, the jobs will get harder and the rewards more generous. If you've the time, I'd also seek the advice of the smith here in the wench. The lads as bear that title have some fine advice for them what are just starting out in the profession. And that, my girl, is how you go about becoming a legend among adventurers. Well, would you look at this, a shiny new adventure. Listen close, lass, I've some information that might just help put you on the map here in Limsa. I was passing through Bulwark Hall below not long ago, and saw a bunch of herbs just scattered about on the ground. I'm not entirely certain, but I think they might have been the black market wares known as dream flowers. Limsa Lominsa is a busy port, and not all the merchants that blow in across the strait are above board, if you know what I mean. How'd the plants end up in the mizzen mast? Who knows? Might have been a deal gone bad. The important thing is you make a name for yourself by handing them in. Speak to Scainrail, and she'll get you down to the first floor. And all you have to do is pick up the herbs and take them to Aldskiff at the Octant. Being a worldly captain, he knows a thing or two about such shady goods. Suspicious. Yes, I'm Aldskiff. You have some herbs you wish me to examine? Yes, as you suspected, these are the highly illegal blooms known as dream flowers. They are the prime ingredient in the creation of somnus, a substance whose fragrance is said to lull the sniffer's mind into the sleep of death. Forgive me, I could not resist the jest. These herbs are not more than althic lavender, a common enough export from limsa. In fact, these probably spilled from crates that were loaded onto my very own ship. I think someone has been having a bit of fun with you, miss. But not to worry, you've learned a few things and made a new acquaintance. Well met. I need to stop sitting on my leg like this. Ah, another novice adventurer, aye? Baderon has sent more than a few of your kind this way of late. I'm Sundimal, one of the Yellow Jackets tasked with keeping the peace in the city. It is also my charge to provide guidance in the use of this device. Fear not, I shall be brief. Aetherites are crystalline structures that tap into ethereal energies. They are primarily used as a means to travel swiftly from one place to another. Return and teleport, most common transportation spells, make direct use of aetherites and their connection to the flow of ether. And as these devices are found in almost every corner of Eorzea, any adventurer worthy of the name will wish to seek out and attune herself to each one. Once you have expanded your horizons beyond the walls of the city, you will soon find yourself performing the act of attunement as a matter of course. There is, however, no need for unseemly haste. The aetherites found in and around the city will be sufficient for the present, I assure you. Should you wish to learn more about aetherites or transportation magic, I will be here to answer your questions. A fine evening to you, madam. Welcome to the most replete marketplace in the grand realm of Eorzea, where every shelf groans under the weight of wonders born from all four corners of the world. Pray browse the stalls until your eyeballs ache from ogling the overabundance of unbelievable bargains. Now, as much as I would love to elaborate upon the unrivaled quality of our merchandise, I must tend to some cargo but recently arrived at the docks. You bear a gift from Baderon? Whatever could it? Ah, my octant! By the navigator, I must have left it behind in the wench, along with a week's pay and several bells' worth of intoxicated memories. I am most grateful to have it back. This tool is a keepsake from my days as a ship captain, you see. Needless to say, your good deed must be repaid, and what better recompense than the wisdom of a master merchant? If it is simple and sturdy adventuring equipment you seek, you need look no further than the east and west arms of Hawker's Alley. Lest you doubt, each gil you invest in arms and armor will be money well spent. Adventuring is, after all, a dangerous profession by its very nature. It goes without saying that Hawker's Alley boasts stalls specializing in the tools of every martial discipline imaginable. And within but a few steps are bazaars and apothecaries that will most amply supply all your potion and perishable needs. Our keen-eyed agents procure a frankly befuddling range of wares during their sojourns to distant shores, so it pays to become familiar with the type and price of the goods offered by each stall. Such knowledge will serve you well if your purse is light or your time is short. But verbal instruction of this kind will only profit you so much. Experience has ever been the surest teacher, if not the kindest. I invite you to explore the markets for yourself. Oh there, adventurer. Curious about the Marauders Guild, are ya? Did what you asked. Ah, there you are, Rael. Enjoy your jaunt round the city, did ya? If you mean to base yourself in limsa, that won't be the last time you'll visit them three places. And now you've got some idea of what's where, you can start exploring the rest of the town. You've shown a good ear for listening, lass. Stick with old Baderon and you'll go far. Still in Limsa, are you, Rael? How'd you fancy a trip outside the city walls? I'd like you to visit an orchard by the name of Summerford Farms. Yeah. He's got himself a crew of mostly reformed pirate types, if you can believe that, and has been trying to bring a bit of life back to the fields after the calamity ruined the soil. Mentioned needing another hand or two, and your name sprang to mind. I gave you a glowing recommendation, so make sure you work and impress the old bastard. You need directions? The place ain't hard to find. Just take the Zephyr Gate out of the city and follow the road northeast. Ah, you must be the adventurer Baderon promised to send along. Rael Risto, wasn't it? You honored his word, so that's a good start. I'm Stalewern, the old bastard, as Baderon likely described me, and this here is my humble orchard. A good number of the lads and lasses working here once terrorized the high seas, and if you're wondering why I employ these scrags, well, they used to crew my pirate ship. The calamity did for our ship like it did so many others, and I was sore wounded into the bargain. I had to feed myself and my crew somehow, and Admiral Merlwyb's initiative to get us landlocked buccaneers working the fields seemed too fine an offer to refuse. Well, it turns out you can take the pirate away from the sea, but you can't take the sea away from the pirate. A lot of my blokes just never took to tending the soil, you see. And unfortunately, the botanists I called to train 'em have been wringing their hands in black despair. So much work piling up, I need a tougher soul, like you, to step in and help where it's needed. I have a mind to set you a task, Risto, but before I do, I need to be sure you're properly kitted out. Pirates don't care to parley with dandies, you understand. It might be well that the ones here have traded their cutlasses for coulters. I don't know what that means. But they're still rogues at heart. I know a solid set of gear when I see it. Come back when you think you're more suitably equipped. Let's have a look at you, shall we? Oh, as long as you're this well covered, I won't feel any guilt toward throwing you to the sharks. Erstwhile buccaneers are an ornery lot. They rage in love for the sea and care little for the laws of the land. They respect strength, and by the looks of you, I'd say you'll have little trouble getting their attention. Ah, Risto, that aura of confidence tells me you've not been idle since last we met. I haven't moved, actually. I hope I've read you aright, for I have a task that requires the attention of a capable adventurer. Might that adventurer be you? Good to hear. Then I shall lay before you the sorry tale. You will have heard rumors of the abductions. Aye, citizens have been disappearing from every corner of limsa lominsa, as if plucked from the face of Heidelin, boots and all, by an unseen hand. What's this got to do with Summerford Farms, you might ask? Well, that remains to be seen. But it seems a collection of right unsavory fellows with azure tattooed faces has been creeping up to the edges of the fields and spying on my yeomen. Now, I doubt anyone would enjoy being scrutinized by such savages at the best of times. The farmhands are convinced that they're the kidnappers of rumor, come for their hides. Needless to say, they're beside themselves with worry, and their work's suffering for it, which is the very last thing I need when my old crewmen are still getting used to their new jobs. It's a struggle to get them to leave the farmhouse of a morning. That is, as they say, where you come in. Would you be willing to investigate these tattooed thugs for me? Good lass. The sooner we get to the bottom of this, the sooner this place will start to resemble a working farm again. I suggest you begin by having a look around Seasong Grotto. If reports are to be believed, our unwelcome visitors have occupied the place. Be careful, though, Risto. I couldn't say for sure what manner of miscreants we're dealing with here. If they are kidnappers, well, just be on your guard, all right?
I am the waves that bear. I am the winds that guide.
Oh, right. I don't have auto.
I am the evening stars. I am the morning sky. I am born of the sea, and there shall I die. Thus reads the sailor's requiem, carved into yonder stone.
She's so baby.
Such words well describe the manner in which the citizens of limsa, lominsa live their lives. It is both a litany against misfortune for those out on the waves, and a prayer that the souls of those who perish on land might find their way back to the sea. Ah, you are the adventurer I've seen around Summerford Farms. I thought myself on the trail of the kidnappers, but it would seem I have missed my mark.
Unless I'm the kidnapper. Oh.
Or perhaps not. As I suspected, the etheric disturbance here is no natural occurrence. Nor is it a coincidence that the two of us should come here in search of those responsible for the disappearances, only to be attacked. But who stands to benefit from the keeping of this secret? Oh, such thoughts must wait. Let us attend to the task at hand, unpleasant though it be.
You got it, dude. Why am I so itchy?
Phew!
Phew, indeed.
Hear, feel, think. Crystal bearer. I am Heidelin, all made one. A light there once was that shone throughout this realm, yet it hath since grown dim. And as it hath faltered, so hath darkness risen up in its stead, presaging an end to life. For the sake of all, I beseech thee, deliver us from this fate. The power to banish the darkness dwelleth in the crystals of light. Journey forth and lay claim to them. By thy deeds shall the crystals reveal themselves to thee. Only believe, for the light liveth in thy heart. creation.
Awake again, are we? Aha! The poor creature's fury was kindled with cruel forethought. See this blade? I found it in the Gubu's back. I have seen knives of this kind before. They are most commonly used for the cutting of rope. It would appear our culprits are seafaring men of some persuasion, piratical being the most probable. In any event, you seem much recovered from your sudden affliction. I confess, I was rather taken aback when you collapsed at the very moment of our victory. Mayhap a surfeit of ether? I beg your pardon. A towering crystal. I'm sure I don't... Oh! Well, well. This has been a day of unexpected revelations. I must continue my investigation. In the meantime, I suggest you deliver this knife to your patron, along with a warning concerning the pirate's probable involvement in this murky business. The days ahead promise little rest, I fear. May our paths cross again, under the light of the crystal.
Risto, right glad I am to see you safely returned. My lads were all gabbing about hearing what sounded like 7 hells breaking loose near the grotto, and I fear I'd sent you to your death. If you were in the middle of that commotion, I hope it yielded something of interest. I'd hate to think you risked your life for naught. A blade pulled from the back of a creature you slew at the cave, eh? I'd agree that such a knife would be part of any seafaring man's kit. Starting to think that these ruffians are pirates come to lure my farmhands back to a life of plunder. Chances are they didn't take kindly to your appearance on their doorstep and set a maddened gubu on you. Aye, the pirates have been adding to their numbers of late. I'd best warn the lads and lasses in my employ to be on guard against their schemes. You met someone at the grotto? A woman with a strange contraption? Ah, Ishtola! She's been in lominsa for a good while now. Her studies of the ether often bring her out to Summerford Farm, so her presence at the grotto is hardly unusual. She's an odd-looking lass, I grant you, but she's not the kind to associate with kidnappers. You may take my word for that. Where trust should be lacking is those yeomen of mine who have yet to wholly relinquish their pirate pasts. The temptation to return to the free and easy life of a buccaneer may prove too strong to resist. You have my thanks, Risto. If it weren't for the efforts of stalwart adventurers like yourself, this farm would be in far worse state than it is. Just you keep on lending your talents to those in need, eh? Help bring Limsa the brighter future she deserves. That sea sloth Severin and his lot never around when there's work to be done. I'd sooner hire you for the sake of getting things done. Then the rapscallions would never learn. Round them up and let them know that Staleworm would like a word, and don't take no for an answer. Oh, there's one. Work? Ha! Can't work when me hands are full of lifting this mug. You know, I'd wager me last gill you'd never guess what I'm drinking. Well, you're right about the swill part. I reckon it might be worth a day of doing Staleworm's chores if it'll afford me a taste of proper grog. Groan. Ugh. How am I supposed to work on an empty stomach? Go on, have a guess at what I had for breakfast. What? Gods, how'd you know? It's my breath, ain't it? Probably smells as wooden as the food tasted. I know why you're here. I'd just as soon get some real food in me, but I ain't one to reject a summons from the cabin. Axes were made for splitting skulls, not stumps. You know what I did in my sailing days? You bet your bosom I did, lass. Aye, those were the days. I reckon now I'll have to be satisfied taking my axe to the trees. So Stalewern sent you. And what do you reckon I say to that? Damn right. Didn't get where I am by taking guff from any glorified gardeners. But I suppose I could see what he wants to get him off my back. I am Severin. You the old man's errand girl now? Tell my dear old captain not to wet his britches. I'll be along. Oh, and just so we're clear, I don't care for landlubbers. Go find the chocobo you rode in on and ride on out. Well, I don't have a chocobo, so... You continue to impress, lass. All but Severin are accounted for. It's no fault of yours he's squirmed out. I've let that worm wriggle through my fingers more times than I can count. But rest assured, the next time I see him, I'll put him squarely in the dirt where all such worms belong. Seems a little extreme, but... Pains me to say, but all the gil in the world can't buy loyalty. There are some like you who can be trusted, but then there are others. Until now, I've had no choice but to rely on that charlatan Severin, even though I am full aware he's been doing shady deals behind my back. More than once, I've heard tell of improper trading with goblins. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if every one of them smoked marijuana cigarettes. Reefers. I wouldn't be the least surprised if that were happening right now. Not a bell ago, a sack of oranges vanished, as did Severin. I want you to find and confront the bastard for me, Risto. I'm sure there's wrongdoing afoot, so be sure to doubt anything that comes out of his mouth. Okay. That'll be it for now, and I will return.